Hello and welcome. We're so glad you're here. This is the very first audio episode on Harmony for Health created just for you, for those of us who believe that growing older doesn't mean fading away, but blooming into something even more resilient, more aware, and more alive. Maybe you're 60, maybe 70, or even in your early 80s. Maybe you've been through decades of diets, doctor visits, family milestones, and quiet Sunday mornings. But today I want to invite you to pause and listen, not just to me, but to your own quiet strength. Because this episode is not about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. So let me ask you this. What does winning at life after 70 actually look like? Is it running a marathon, climbing Mount Everest? Not necessarily. It might be something far simpler, like cooking a meal from scratch, laughing at your own mistake, or remembering what you had for lunch yesterday without reaching for your phone. And if you're thinking, wait, those don't sound like big achievements, let me tell you this, they are. In fact, they might be the most important victories you've ever had. Because in today's episode, we're going to uncover 7 small but powerful signs that you're not just aging, you're thriving. And here's the twist. Each sign isn't just about what you can do, it's also tied to how you eat, how you think, and how you connect with your body in ways you might have never realized. Science is catching up with what wisdom already knew, that your ability to climb stairs, remember a meal, or share a laugh can predict your longevity more than a blood test ever could. So get comfortable. Maybe pour yourself a warm cup of tea. Because over the next few minutes, we're going to explore 7 powerful habits that if you still do them after 70, mean you are truly winning at life, and will reveal the foods, the science, and the soul behind each one. Let's begin. 1. Climbing stairs without gasping. Imagine an ordinary afternoon. You're visiting someone and the elevator is out of service. Most people might sigh, but not you. You smile, take a steady breath, and begin to climb. Step by step, your legs feel stable, your breath stays even, your heart calm and strong. There's no applause, no one counting your steps. And yet that moment, that quiet victory says more than anyone knows. Climbing stairs for many is just a task, but after 70, it becomes something else. A subtle signal that your body still works in harmony, heart, lungs, and muscles moving as one. According to the American Heart Association, your aerobic capacity may decline by up to 40% between your 30s and 70s. That's why stairs matter. In one European study, adults over 60 were asked to climb 3 flights of stairs in under 90 seconds. Those who could do it, they were significantly less likely to develop heart disease over the next decade. You don't need a treadmill, you don't need a gym, you just need a staircase and a little willingness. But here's the question, what helps your body keep showing up like that? It starts not in your legs, but in your kitchen. If you want to support your cardiovascular health, improve stamina, and help your heart do its job, these heart-healthy foods for seniors are your allies. Beets, packed with natural nitrates that relax blood vessels and improve circulation. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, rich in omega-3s that reduce inflammation and strengthen heart tissue. Oats, full of beta-glucan, which helps lower LDL cholesterol and stabilize energy. Every meal is a vote for strength or a vote for strain. Choose foods that help you rise, not sink. And remember, climbing stairs isn't just about physical fitness. It's a declaration of independence, of agency, of knowing that even without fanfare, you're still moving forward one step at a time. So the next time you see an elevator out of service sign, don't see it as an inconvenience. See it as an invitation. A quiet reminder that you can still climb and that every step is worth celebrating. When was the last time you skipped the elevator? If you remember it clearly, chances are your heart remembers too. 2. Remembering what you ate yesterday. Let's try something simple. Close your eyes just for a moment and ask yourself, what did you have for lunch yesterday? Was it a sandwich? A bowl of soup? Something sweet you didn't plan to eat but loved anyway. If you can recall it clearly, the texture, the taste, even the company you shared it with, that's not just memory, that's proof. Because memory is far more than trivia. It's the thread that holds your life together. And after 70, remembering what you ate yesterday is more than a casual thought. It's a sign your brain is still active, still present, still beautifully alive. According to the Alzheimer's Association, 1 in 9 adults over 65 experiences some form of memory loss. It can begin subtly forgetting a name, missing an appointment, struggling to recall something small. But when your mind can retrieve yesterday's lunch, it shows that your cognitive muscles are still working, still responsive. And just like any muscle memory thrives on use. So if you remembered your tuna sandwich and the crunch of your chips, or the little joke your granddaughter made at the table, you're not just remembering, you're exercising your brain in one of the most natural ways possible. Now here's where food comes in again. What you eat affects not just your body, but your brain. And the right foods can help preserve your memory longer than any app or exercise. Here are a few science-backed options known to boost memory after 60 bound. Blueberries. Rich in anthocyanins, they fight oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. Walnuts. Packed with omega-3s and antioxidants, they support cognitive performance. Dark leafy greens, like spinach and kale and full of folate and lutein, linked to slower cognitive decline. And it's not just the ingredients, it's the ritual. Preparing a meal, sitting down, tasting, chewing, remembering. That's presence. That's life. Memory isn't only about what you hold on to, it's about what you're still willing to notice. The flavor of the soup, the sunlight through the kitchen window, the story that made you laugh during dessert. All of these moments form the quiet foundation of your mental clarity. So here's something small you can try. At the end of each day, take 1 minute to recall your meals and who you shared them with, even if it was just yourself. Say it out loud, write it down, let it be your ritual of awareness. Because when your mind is still remembering what nourished you, it's a beautiful sign you're still deeply connected to the life you're living. But let me ask you this, when was the last time you stood still, really still, on just one leg? Sounds simple, right? But what if I told you that this quiet little test could predict your health and even your lifespan better than your last blood test? Let's take a closer look. 3. Balancing on one leg for 10 seconds. Picture yourself in the middle of your living room. No noise, no distractions, just you standing tall and slowly lifting one foot off the ground. Can you hold that pose for 10 seconds? At first glance, it might seem like a game, something kids do while brushing their teeth or pretending to be flamingos. But in truth, this quiet little challenge is a serious predictor of health and longevity. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that people over 70 who could balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds were nearly 50% less likely to experience major health complications in the next few years. Yes, 50%. That's not just balance, that's protection. Because balance isn't just about your legs. It's about coordination, stability, brain-to-body communication. It's a full-body conversation, and every part of you needs to be present to keep you upright. Think about all the systems working at once, your core muscles engaging, your joints adjusting, your brain sending signals with quiet precision. And here's the good news, just like memory balance can be trained and nourished. Certain foods support muscle strength, joint health, and neural coordination, especially after 60. Sardines, high in calcium and vitamin D. They help maintain bone strength. Greek yogurt, full of protein and probiotics to support both muscle recovery and gut-brain balance. Almonds and kale, plant-based sources of calcium, magnesium, and antioxidants that support both movement and cognition. You don't need to be a gymnast. You don't need to do yoga on a mountaintop. You just need 10 seconds of stillness practiced daily to improve your odds of staying upright, mobile, and independent. Balance also helps prevent falls, one of the leading causes of hospitalization among adults over 70. So yes, standing on one leg really can save your life. Start small. Hold on to a chair if you need to. Then as your confidence builds, try it during quiet moments, brushing your teeth, waiting for the kettle to boil, standing at the sink. Because those 10 seconds each day could mean more years of walking confidently through the world. But what if I told you there's something even more powerful, more protective than balance? Something that strengthens not just your body, but your spirit, and starts with nothing more than a single simple laugh. Let's explore that next. Laughing often. Think back to the last time you really laughed. Not a polite chuckle, not a quick smile, but the kind of laugh that makes your belly tighten, your eyes water, your whole face crinkle into joy. That kind of laughter isn't just delightful, it's medicinal. According to research from Stanford University, laughter triggers the release of endorphins, boosts your immune system, and helps reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that quietly chips away at your health over time. In fact, regular laughter has been linked to improved pain tolerance, better heart health, and even sharper memory. So if you're still cracking jokes or laughing at something silly, you're doing more than just having fun. You're building resilience. As we age, life throws its fair share of curveballs. A friend moves away, an old ache returns, the news gets overwhelming. But people who still find reasons to laugh through it all, they're not ignoring reality. They're navigating it with strength. Laughter is a soft shield. It doesn't stop pain, but it softens it. It doesn't erase loneliness, but it opens a window. It doesn't fix aging, but it makes aging lighter. You might be surprised to learn that what we eat also affects our ability to stay emotionally balanced. There are foods that help regulate mood and support the brain's chemical messengers like serotonin and dopamine. Green tea contains L-theanine, a compound that promotes calm focus. Dark chocolate, rich in polyphenols that enhance brain function and lift mood. Fermented foods like kefir or miso support the gut-brain axis, which plays a direct role in emotional stability. So yes, a little chocolate and a warm cup of tea can be more than comfort food. They can be part of your emotional wellness plan. Here's a simple habit. Each day, seek out one thing that makes you laugh, a memory, a conversation, a favorite show, or even just a good joke you tell yourself out loud in the kitchen. Because a good laugh isn't just a response. It's a reflection of emotional agility, of hope, of spirit. And if you're still laughing even softly, even alone, you're proving that your emotional center is still vibrant. But let's take that one step further. What happens when laughter isn't something you enjoy alone, but something you share? What if your greatest source of strength comes not from within, but from who you choose to stay connected to? Let's talk about that next. 5. Maintaining strong social connections. You've probably heard it before. Humans aren't meant to live alone. But after 70, this truth becomes more than emotional, it becomes biological. According to the National Institute on Aging, nearly 1 in 3 adults over 70 experience chronic loneliness. And the effects, they're not just emotional. They increase your risk of depression, heart disease, cognitive decline, and even shorten your life expectancy. But here's the beautiful part. Connection doesn't have to be grand. It can be a 10-minute phone call, a quick story shared over coffee, a walk with a friend who doesn't say much but walks beside you anyway. In Okinawa, Japan, one of the regions with the highest number of people living past 100, researchers discovered a powerful concept called moai, small groups of lifelong friends who commit to caring for each other physically, emotionally, and socially. Those who age well don't just eat well or move more, they stay connected. And not just in times of joy, but also in grief, transition, quiet. This kind of emotional nutrition is just as real and just as essential as what's on your plate. Still, some foods can help support the biological side of connection, regulating mood, calming the nervous system, and increasing the energy to reach out to others. Try adding these to your routine. Chamomile tea, calming, soothing, perfect for slow conversations. Ginger, supports circulation and digestion, great for shared meals and warming rituals. Apples, walnuts, and cinnamon, not just heart-healthy but emotionally comforting, they call back family recipes and holiday memories. Sharing food is, after all, one of the oldest forms of connection. It says, I see you, I care, I'm here. So if you're still calling old friends, still organizing a monthly book club, still waving to your neighbor each morning, you're not just being social. You're investing in your future health. Because people who laugh together, eat together, and talk through the ups and downs of life tend to live longer, and they tend to live better. But there's one final habit that may surprise you. It doesn't involve your phone, or your feet, or even your calendar. It starts right at home, with your hands, your ingredients, and the quiet ritual of preparing something just for you. 6. Cooking for yourself. It's early evening. You walk into the kitchen, flip on the light, and open the cupboard. There's no one watching, no one waiting, just you. And the simple question, what do I feel like making tonight? If you're still cooking for yourself at 70, whether it's a full meal or just a warm bowl of soup, you're doing something quietly extraordinary. You're showing up for yourself. Cooking may seem like a chore, but in reality, it is one of the clearest signs of independence, mobility, memory, and self-love all working together in harmony. Think about it. You need the balance to stand, the dexterity to chop, the coordination to move between stove and sink. You need focus to follow a recipe, even a familiar one, and presence to enjoy the process. This isn't just about feeding hunger. It's about feeding your identity. In a long-term study out of Sweden, older adults who continued cooking for themselves were 25% less likely to develop chronic illnesses like heart disease and diabetes compared to those who relied entirely on prepared meals. Why? Because home cooking gives you control. Control over ingredients, over salt, sugar, fat, over the little moments that bring flavor, texture, and satisfaction into your day. It's also one of the simplest ways to build what researchers call functional strength after 70. The ability to live, move, and nourish without constant help. If you're wondering what to cook more often, here are some staples that offer both senior-friendly nutrition and sensory joy. Sweet potatoes. Easy to digest, full of fiber, and rich in beta-carotene for immune support. Lentils. High in plant protein and iron, perfect for soups or stews. Olive oil and garlic. Together, they promote heart health and make everything taste a little more alive. And if the kitchen reminds you of your younger years or of someone you used to cook for, let that memory in. Because cooking is never just about food, it's about continuity, about honoring your life, your routines, your legacy, one meal at a time. So if you're still flipping pancakes, stirring sauces, or simply brewing your own tea, you're proving that age has not taken away your autonomy, it's deepened your rhythm. And now as we look back at all 6 of these quiet signs climbing stairs, recalling a meal, balancing, laughing, staying connected, and cooking a deeper truth comes into view. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. But here's the question that matters most now. Which of these are you still doing, and which one are you ready to reclaim next? Because maybe, just maybe, there's one more we almost forgot. One that's harder to measure but easy to feel. One that whispers through your mornings and colors how you show up for the rest of your day. We've talked about movement, memory, meals, and meaning, but we haven't yet talked about the quiet fire that keeps them all going. You know what I mean, that moment you open your eyes in the morning, swing your legs off the bed and think, let's go, I've still got something to do today. 7. Waking up with purpose. It starts before your feet even touch the floor. You open your eyes, the light filters in, and there's a moment, quiet and weightless, where you decide, what is today for? At 70 and beyond, having a sense of purpose isn't just about having a packed calendar or checking off goals. It's about meaning, momentum, the inner reason you choose to rise, not just physically, but fully. And science backs this up. In a study published in JAMA Psychiatry, researchers followed adults over 65 for nearly a decade. They found that those with a strong sense of life purpose were significantly less likely to experience stroke, depression, or physical decline. Even more powerful, they lived longer and lived better. Purpose protects. It gives structure to your days and strength to your body. It sharpens your mind. It steadies your breath. It gently insists you still matter. And purpose doesn't have to be grand. It might be caring for your garden, checking in on a friend, showing up to a community group, or simply starting your day with one question. What do I want to feel today, and who can I share it with? You can even nourish purpose literally through what you eat. Certain foods support motivation, energy, and mental clarity after 75. Whole grains, like quinoa or barley, to stabilize blood sugar and support steady energy. Eggs, rich in choline, a key nutrient for brain function and mood balance. Turmeric, with its active compound curcumin, which supports cognitive health and emotional resilience. But more than anything, purpose is sustained by rhythm, by waking up with intention, even a small one. Try this before you reach for your phone or your slippers. Pause. Say to yourself, today I choose, and fill in the blank. I choose to move. I choose to connect. I choose to create something small. I choose to care. Because choosing is where purpose lives. And it doesn't fade with age, it sharpens. It simplifies. Those who keep a morning rhythm tend to stay more active, more emotionally balanced, and more socially engaged. Not because they have to, but because they want to. So if you still wake up curious, if you still believe your presence matters, if you still have a reason, even a quiet one, to begin again each day, you are not just aging well. You are living with intention. And maybe, just maybe, the most powerful habit of all is the one you practice in silence before the day has even begun. So if you've made it to this point, take a moment not just to reflect, but to smile. Because the fact that you're here, still learning, still listening, still growing, is proof that you're already doing something remarkable. Whether you related to one habit or all the 7, know this: it's never too late to start again. And every quiet decision you make to move, to laugh, to cook, to connect is a powerful step toward a life of health and meaning. We hope today's audio gave you something to hold on to. A reminder, a spark, maybe even a reason to stand up and stretch. Thank you for spending this time with us. If you found this episode helpful, please consider subscribing to Harmony for Health. We have more stories, insights, and gentle encouragement coming your way, and we'd love to be part of your journey. Until next time, stay well, stay kind to yourself. And remember, no matter your age, you are still deeply capable of living fully. We'll see you in the next one.